Independence Day. Today is what, July 2nd, Kathy? Yeah, it's July 2nd. So on Thursday, here's the story. This orange fuckwad said yesterday that the Pentagon would put military tanks on display on Thursday in Washington. They're going to drive right down Pennsylvania Avenue as part of his plans to turn the annual 4th of July celebration in the nation's capital into a fascist, militaristic, Donald Trump wants it, so Donald Trump gets it, display of weaponry. There's more. The tanks will join a bunch of jets flying over D.C. in a display of our firepower. As if the fucking world doesn't already know. How many countries do we have to turn into unfunctioning masses of rubble before we realize that they realize that the United States is the most vicious, violent, brutal fucking nation on earth? And you fuck with us and we'll prove it to you. We'll kill millions of your people. Everybody knows that. Everybody on earth. Once over Washington, or one of the displays of our mighty Air Force, will be a performance by the Navy's Blue Angels jets. Mr. Trump, who is going to speak at this celebration, has requested, that's an order, that the chiefs of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines stand next to him as each of their services fly overhead. And that the respective hymns of these military forces be played over loudspeakers when the Secretary of Army stands next to him, the Army hymn. Shum. When the Secretary of Navy stands next to him, the Navy hymn. Shum. This fucking guy is insane. He's crazy. And we get to watch it on the 4th of July. Independence Day? Are you out of your fucking mind? I really do believe anyone who attends this goddamn masturbatory scene of Trump throwing his dick out for everybody to see, all red, white, and blue, anyone who goes to this, shame the fuck on you. I know all you Christian fuckers are going to go. But anybody else who goes, shame on you. Shame the fuck on you. This is what hundreds of thousands of American military personnel have died for, so this orange fucker can stand there at the Lincoln Memorial and play with himself and make everybody fucking watch? What is going on? This is what fascism with a maniac at the helm looks like. There's more. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office, quote, "It'll be like no other. It'll be special, and I hope a lot of people come. We have some incredible equipment, military equipment on display, brand new, and we're very proud of it." This asshole's decision reflects the divide between Trump and the forces at his command. You see, top military commanders have expressed an awful lot of reservations about this fucking jerk-off that Trump is planning. About letting the armed forces be used by this fucking insane president to advance his political agenda. But this is what fascism is. Is any fucking body paying attention? Why isn't every talking head on CNN and MSNBC, fuck Fox, why aren't they bringing this up every goddamn night? I don't give a fuck about Mueller. I don't give a fuck about the election. What I care about is what's happening now with a fascist, insane president and his military games. This fucker who avoided service because of bone spurs. God damn. Let me quote some more. Pentagon officials have long been reluctant to parade tanks, missiles, and other weapons through the nation's capital like the authoritarian leaders of North Korea and China. Those days are gone, military commanders, unless you tell this orange fucker to piss off. Do you have the guts to do it? The Pentagon officials, they say the United States, which has the world's most powerful military and spends more on defense than China, Saudi Arabia, India, France, Russia, Britain, and Germany spend combined, the United States does not need to broadcast its strength. But that's what you do in a fascist country. For fuck's sake, look at the history over the past 80 years. Take a look at it. Look at Franco. Look at Hirohito. Look at Mussolini and Hitler and Trump and Stalin. It was not clear how much the use of the military would cost on Thursday. There's always cost. And here's the part that shows you how fucking far down the rabbit hole this orange son of a bitch has taken us. Listen up. Mr. Trump said that, quote, brand new Abrams tanks and brand new Sherman's tanks, end quote, would be on display on Thursday. The Abrams tank was used during the Persian Gulf War in 1991. And some of them are currently still in use by the military. They're not brand new. The M4 Sherman tank was used by the United States during World War II and the Korean War and is no longer even being produced. It's not even in active service. Brand new. This ignorant fucking savage talks about brand new Sherman and brand new Abrams tanks, and there aren't any. And then Trump said, acknowledging the damage that these vehicles could do to Washington's transportation network, he said, quote, you got to be pretty careful with the tanks because the roads have a tendency not to like to carry heavy tanks. So we have to put them in certain areas. Fucko the clown didn't say what those areas would be. Pentagon officials declined to comment yesterday as they wrestled with how to accommodate the president's tank demand only a few days before the event. Among the logistical concerns was how to transport tanks that weigh more than 60 tons into a popular downtown area where tourists gather to see the monuments. Moving and guarding the tanks would require staffing at a time when many troops are at home for the holiday. Another problem is Arlington Memorial Bridge, which spans the Potomac River and connects Arlington National Cemetery and the Lincoln Memorial, and the bridge might not be able to hold the weight. It's also unclear where the tanks would come from. The closest Abrams tanks are a 350-mile drive away from D.C. at the 150th Cavalry Regiment, a unit of the West Virginia National Guard in Blue fucking Field, West fucking Virginia. If the military wanted to use assets under federal control, it would most likely have to bring tanks from the Marines' 2nd Tank Battalion in Camp Lejeune, North fucking Carolina. 2 days. 1 day, tomorrow, to do this for this psycho fuck. Either way, the tanks would have to be transported by rail or flatbed truck. Mr. Trump will deliver his 4th of July speech from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, becoming the first president in decades to get in the fucking way of folks who just want to have a good time. He tweeted, quote, "We will be having one of the biggest gatherings in the history of Washington, D.C. on July 4th. It'll be called A Salute to America and will be held at the Washington Memorial. Major fireworks display, entertainment, and an address by your favorite president, me." You want to know what fascism looks like? You're living it. Open your fucking eyes. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.